Welcome to the new MARIK Workshop. This segment of the WBPL 76 is brought to you by the Night Owl Association, along with the Bear Digs Company and viewers like you. Why are you here?
Factory core, online. Automatic assembly, online. Old oil manufacturing cauldrons, online. Mech manufacturing facility, new MARIK Workshop, operational. Dispensing corn, now.
Ooh, woo.
Why are you here? I have to enlarge bigness.
Power of chat compels you.
That was a professional sheep wrangling.
Ooh, but angry.
Grumble about things.
I just hit myself in the balls with an iPhone. What the fuck is my meat jiggler?
I would so download Pete.
Both the teeth.
Very important announcement for you. Free Corn Thursday.
Please don't do that anymore.
That unholy abomination of Yuletide terror.
You dare not defy their will.
Ooh, the grundle.
Tactical booty George. Because it squints.
Corn and honey butter biscuits.
The f*** is Free Corn Thursday? But what you've got to understand is at the time it was perfectly normal. You could just walk into any one of them and go, hello, I would like 128 ounces of pure caffeinated sugar. And they would be like, okay, do you have your own cup? And if you said yes, like a gentleman, then you could walk in and for $2.99, they would sell you 1 gallon of weird, possibly carcinogenic, definitely radioactive, and alarmingly flavorful liquid flavor water from a variety of companies. Or you could just put like $57 worth of Slim Jims in it, put on the lid and run. Either way, you had the choice. So what are we doing tonight? Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Like, you got to understand, Slim Jims at the time were worth like $17,000 a pound.
Oh, I remember when Slim Jims were gourmet food. Jeez. As a
Oh,
wee lad,
yeah.
I could do nothing but dream of having a Slim Jim.
Oh, gourmet Slim. Oh, it should come in like a golden wrapper, and it has meats you can identify.
I got a golden wrapper. Well, I think you're robbing some of the magic out of it then. if you can identify the meat.
Well, I mean,
That's-
we've entered.
We've entered the
Um,
negative zone. For some reason, it's not recognizing the appropriate window. That's odd.
Oh, apparently, Perry,
What
you're
the
just a
fuck
little
is
bit quiet
Freakhorn
here
Thursday?
tonight.
Well, then
Uh,
I will move the microphone closer to my face holes. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Parallax of the Black Pants Legion here. I'm joined tonight by Squic, who's usually here.
Hello.
We've got Cookie here tonight. She's not going to say anything. And the man, the myth, the legend, Eldonius Rex.
I said hello.
That was not the sound of Eldonius Rex.
Do I qualify as a myth yet?
Yeah.
I think we need a couple of 100 years there before it's a myth, sir.
Okay.
Well, I think you at least qualify as an accomplished cryptid.
Okay, how about folk hero? Will you accept folk hero?
A folk hero is just a cryptid with better marketing.
I will only accept that when a blind old man at the crossroads says my name in a song.
And we
the
could probably
fuck
pay
is
for that
Freakhorn
on
I feel
Fiverr.
like we can make that happen.
Yeah, the internet's got to have a service for that.
Yeah, there's probably an app for it.
You think you could do it with Fiverr?
I mean, that's
Sure.
what I'm thinking. Yeah.
What the fuck is
You can probably
Freakhorn
get a couple
Thursday?
different languages from Fiverr.
Yeah, I'm going to Fiverr right now.
Guys,
How many R's is in that?
2, I think.
If I spell it with 3, will they try and like sell me weird penny
What
stock?
the
Oh,
fuck
yes.
is Freakhorn
$8,000?
Thursday?
Or other websites.
Oh, they can sell me other websites?
they
That's
can.
amazing.
It's wild. It is the most bizarre thing you've ever encountered.
Frito says Hunchback for
Grumble about things.
ST4G sticker is fire.
Oh, that's because its heat sinks are insufficient.
It's true.
What the fuck is Freakhorn
Yeah,
Thursday?
I've been getting a fair amount of asking for people for a normal version of that one, and people really want the laser hunchback, the radical hunchback. So
Oh yeah, I am desperate to have flying V hunchback.
oh yeah, once I get a minute to breathe from Hell Summer,
Is that allowed?
I'm going to make that happen.
That's wacky.
Something has gone wrong with the stream.
No, it hasn't.
What the fuck is Freakhorn Thursday?
Lovely wife
No matter
says
what
Jane-
happens, when anything with that damnable cowboy happens, it's always the creepiest shit.
You double, yeah. Lovely wife says turn up the sound.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume.
Boom, 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 boom.
Bum 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 bum. Okay, so
Mr.
Obi-
Volume.
Mr. Volume.
Pump up the jam.
Bum,
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 bum, bum.
It's a weird version of that song. Hey, there's the face again.
It's not weird, it's copyright free.
So normally I like to go through everything that everyone has sent me, and this week OBS has decided it's not interested in that, and I can't.
It's showing it now.
It's showing 10 of them. There are 24 submissions.
It's cool. It's decided the cowboy is what you must view.
I just want to
The
go ahead
robot
and
is
throw this
stupid.
out there.
You and that. Yeah.
That cowboy, that came from viewer Evil Stew with the submission with the tank and the cowboy. That is my favorite submission we've ever gotten.
You and that damn cowboy. You have cursed us.
Well, it cursed him first, so it's only fair.
Oh my. Okay, so we can cover some of this on next week. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to recent work because there is some stuff I want to touch on, and then we'll actually get into doing stuff that we do sometimes and talking to Eldonius, who was nice enough to join us this week, make the time for us, and we're gonna have fun. Cookie had an idea. If you guys have a question that you want to ask Eldonius in chat, throw up the cookie emote before your question, and she'll catch it.
Yeah, read it.
I'm also building my own list of questions that I definitely already had and didn't
Sure.
forget when making the world's worst sandwich.
Oh, good.
That's okay, baby.
We've decided not to do that either. Thank you, OBS.
Look, your OBS is mad because I tried to turn a lump of fried bologna into sandwich meat.
To be fair, I like fried bologna. There we go. Okay. So I've been showing you all occasionally some of the models I've been working on. This one was a special request from very special co-host Cookie Mama.
Yay. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that thing.
What is it, Cookie?
That's a Roadrunner.
That's an Emerald Harrier. That is.
Oh, I thought it was just like an extra white-ass crab.
It's that too.
I thought they took the front of a timber wolf and put a bud on it.
It is that too. Actually, I had Locust Labs and White Rook were both complaining at me because I didn't integrate the cockpit well. The art is that badly integrated.
I mean, I'm kind of on board with this. It's the Concorde of fast-running. Why is the ass that wide? I don't understand.
Listen, I don't know. I don't.
Wide asses, wide stability.
I guess.
You're going to put truck nuts on it that will do significant
We're not
damage.
going back to truck nuts. No, we're not doing that again.
I'll bring out overballs if you do.
Okay,
it's like a car when you push the tires as far to the corners of the car as you can for stability.
That's it. This was the first time I've painted an Eldar. Listen, it's not done. I just wanted to paint something colorful, and I think it's fine.
I mean, the gold accents are nice.
I think Eldar are contractually obligated to have gold accents.
I'm pretty sure that's the weird guys.
I think that's Eldar. Yeah.
No, they're not that weird. They wear pants.
I mean, most of them wear pants. They're the really bad Eldar that I'm pretty sure wear chaps.
They wear the concept of pants, mockingly. Oh, it's Dark Universe David Bowie.
There you go.
Okay, so we've already got some comments/questions. Tigress Rex says, Eldonius, love your work. Thank you for it. Grimos says, Eldonius, how have you not become an eldritch god of artwork and memes, or are you? Love your work. Upward Thinking says, who do we have to murder to get a St. G or Radical Hunchback print or sticker?
We've already discussed it. Give the man a chance to breathe.
Okay.
Oh, man.
No,
I'm not
hold
used
up.
to compliments.
Well, too bad, because A, your stuff is amazing, but B, this is entirely too art-focused, so I'm going to steal the reins for this, and I'm going to ask, do you know the film The Ring?
Hey, real quick,
and it's...
let me address some of this other stuff, because this one's important.
Okay, yes.
This was a special dispatch to longtime supporter of the whole damn channel, and also I'm pretty sure the person that has given the most subscriptions to any Twitch channel in all of Twitch history, the Night Owl. And I was led to understand by a certain unhinged duck that he might appreciate having a Waffle House being carried by Quadmax.
I love where this is going. Continue immediately.
Okay, so because the internet has fucking everything, I found a printable Waffle House.
As one does.
I had to do some editing to it to make it work on it. It's designed as a foldable file for an FDM printer. I was able to make it work for a
Wait, it's a
printer.
foldable Waffle House?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. So you could print it very quickly, I guess.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Anyway, there are, in fact, there's a special feature here. So they're magnetized.
Yes.
So you can put the Waffle House on their backs and it'll stay there.
The Waffle House is now a turret.
The Waffle House is a mobile headquarters.
It can deploy fast food in any direction.
I don't know about fast.
Why am I getting that we were talking about what if or maybe I just read it somewhere. What if Baba Yaga was a southern dude? Why am I getting this vibe here?
Apparently Voxel is a little bit Voxel, it's okay. It's okay. He's all right.
What the fuck is Freakhorn
This is very
Thursday?
normal.
That Goliath in the front, that's Voxel's. I didn't put the turd on him. It's fine.
It looks like a mad cat with cerebral palsy.
Well, I think we're seeing how Comstar really won the Battle of Tukiyid.
Yeah.
They had a Trojan Waffle House.
I mean, all they had to do was pull the employees up to the front line. They were going to win that fight.
Okay, Locust Lab says, in a fight between Eldonius and me, who would win?
I'm going to go
What, me?
with Locust's
What the
girlfriend.
fuck is Freakhorn Thursday?
I have heard of this girlfriend. I didn't know if it was between Locust or me and Cookie Mama.
Right. No, that'd be Eldonius and Locust. Yeah, it's between the two of them. And then Pistol asks, how many comic books have you turned out?
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
you.
There are the ones that I made myself in the before times, before the robots ate my life. And there is a super secret one. I worked for a now defunct comic company for a while, and I worked on romance comics for a couple of years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, that is a long and noble tradition of comic book artists.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby worked on romance comics, and if
So
you
let
know
me
Jack
ask you a
Kirby's
question.
artwork,
When you say romance, how much of a euphemism is that?
it was not pornography, sir. If that's
Okay.
what you're getting to.
Okay.
These were young adult romance novels based on monsters. So I illustrated
So
one,
like
which was
the werewolf and vampire type thing, all that fun stuff.
bingo.
Oh,
So
that whole thing. Yeah, that's a whole deal.
I did a Frankenstein one, and then I lettered a couple of others. I lettered their zombie book, and I did some cover coloring on their ghost book. And then that was before I was working I was working with another dude doing like an airplanes versus dragons book. But that one got canceled once the company went defunct. But I recently did a cover, and I think it was recently released. Arrow Rangers. I think you can find it on Amazon. I just did the cover for it.
This is amazing.
Did some internal illustrations.
Okay.
I lettered a damn zombie book, and I went all fucking out on that zombie book.
I bet you did. Because the
and I
zombies
did, like-
get their own print, right?
I did the most drippy, goopy, like, word balloons, and people at Amazon tore me apart.
Oh, fuck that.
I was never allowed to do extreme word balloons ever again.
Arachnash wants to know how much would it cost to commission you to redraw the romance comics with stompy robots instead of monsters?
It cost a lot because comics take a very long time. But if you just want the covers, well, maybe we'll work it into a future pack.
Okay, I got one more.
If you are looking for a romance novel type cover with robots, we did one for the Warhammer pack.
I remember.
If you go to the website,
it should. What's the
if you go
URL for that website?
Well, sir, if you go to www.astray3.bigcartel.com, that's where you can buy prints and stickers and coasters and magnets from me. And the print you're looking for is the Love Me Deadly print.
There you go, folks. Go buy stuff from Eldon. It's for the best, I promise. Okay.
May have not gotten it right. There it is. There it is.
I got one more thing
Not
I want to
got
show off for like things I did in the last week. Last one, and then we get into, the thing that ostensibly the show's about.
He lied unconvincingly.
Shut up. You don't have to be right so loud. So, I actually went ahead and launched a Cults 3D page for some of the models I've been working on. These are completely distinct designs. Don't look into that. But you can find that. I can drop the URL if anybody's interested, but this is where I'm going to be putting stuff for now. I'm not interested in doing a Patreon because I don't think I'm going to be putting out stuff frequently enough, but...
Now, Para, I have a question for you here.
I have an answer. Let's see if they match.
those appear to be robots that one could download and print and perhaps use with, say, a printed rulebook of some number of games.
That's true. That's true. You could certainly use them as proxies for other things if you so chose.
Yes, is that what makes for a tabletop proxy war?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay.
And Voxel is now telling me Patreon has a storefront functionality, which I think White Rook would have loved to have known about 6 months ago when he was building his own website.
Halzakar said, or Pistol also said, "Love your stuff." To Eldonius, Halzakar said,
I didn't put that there.
Oh shit! Eldonius said, "Thanks to the mail today. I got your package today. I love fondling the package. What piece of art was the most fun you've had working on?"
Usually the most fun on those packs is usually working on the fake book covers and fake magazine covers, because that's like kind of where I can really just kind of get wacky with the stuff. I try to put like a bunch of Easter eggs in them and stuff. So that's usually the most fun to work on when I do like the packs and stuff.
Yes, you can get fun stuff like going down to Mad Cats or going to the War College of Goshen Close Quarters Combat course.
Yep.
The
I have to find my shirt. I gotta find my T-shirt.
Or Big Bear War Machines.
I can't find either of my T-shirts I have from you.
Aww.
But anyway, which is sad.
Now,
But anyway,
working on the sundries are like one of the best parts. Plus, yeah, I kind of like doing the propaganda poster stuff, like the Hunchback.
On my Purple Bird propaganda, but like you said, that's not necessarily your decision.
Well, you'll have to petition Tex for that, because usually it's whatever he's doing to follow the lead on those.
okay. Let's see, where was I? I'm trying to do these in order. What's your favorite lunch? What's your favorite? Here we go. Where'd it go? Sandwich meat. What's your favorite kind of sandwich meat? Yes.
Okay.
My favorite sandwich meat?
Your favorite sandwich meat.
What do I feel like we just signed Eldon up for the Bodie McBoatface of chat rooms?
Like, I'll tell you, my favorite sandwich at Subway before they changed the menu was the Italian BMT. So I like the pepperoni, the salami, the ham.
Nice.
Yeah, your spicier meats.
If you like the Subway Italian BMT and you have a Jimmy John's near you, then the Italian Nightclub, it isn't like a one-for-one clone, but it hits a lot of the same beats.
But why would you go to Jimmy John's and not get the Big John?
Because other sandwiches exist?
But they're the wrong decision. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is not a show about sandwiches.
It definitely is.
Locust Labs says my fiance agrees that she would win a fight between me and him.
Oh, it's fiance now. Congratulations. I didn't have that piece of information.
Halzakar says
I would agree.
Halzakar says I enjoy finding wrestling references in your work. Please don't stop adding them.
I will not. I love throwing wrestling jokes into stuff.
Oh Lord, you'll get along with Hal great.
When are you? Yeah. When are you releasing Pride, Prejudice, and Battle next?
Thursday?
Okay, so I should paint something. What should I paint?
So I'm going to break in with a quick question.
Okay. Awesome. For who? Is it for me? I bet it's for me.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be for you. Well, no, it is now.
Okay. It's for me now.
It was going to be for Eldonius, but I realize that he's being a bit bombarded with questions. So,
sorry.
No, it's all good. That's the nature of the beast. We have
It's why
special
I'm
guest
here.
star. Yeah. So, Para.
Hi.
Would you prefer questions related to art or questions related to just complete shitposty nonsense?
Well, I'd like to talk to Eldon about it.
That is illegal now.
Oh.
So you're going to have to put on a pirate
for
hat.
Another hour and a half for questions about what your favorite pirate hat is.
Okay.
Eldonius, how is your burb?
The burb is well. The burb is currently sleeping. Been trying to make sure that the burb gets some out of the cage time every day, and I turn on TV for the burb and let her stare outside.
Oh, very good.
You know what? She's watching. Let's do that. Let's do Locust's Hop.
All right. And then Vectron says, love your work and looking forward to getting my Hunchy pack. What is your favorite mech?
I don't usually do favorites, but usually I lean towards the old Unseens. Give me a good old Marauder, give me a good old Warhammer. Usually when I'm making lists for games, I usually always have a longbow in there. So, yeah.
Warlocks will love hearing that.
I mean, a longbow for what you're paying for is one of the best general fire support mechs if you're playing Intersphere stuff. So,
Mad Duck says, I am tuned in now. I was doing things that were absolutely not at all irresponsible. And he says, do you like the Archer over the Orion? Since you already answered favorites.
I will fight you, Ducks.
And that's different from any other day in what possible regard?
I know where he lives.
Archer all the way. I mean, I don't have any.
Eldon.
I do not have anything against the Orion, but the Orion feels like a budget Atlas.
Oof.
So yeah, not wrong though. It's another mech that can't decide what it's doing and tries to do everything at once and fails at each of them categorically and individually.
Everybody betray me. I fed up with this world.
Then stop being wrong.
I'm not wrong, damn it. It's the best mech for the Succession Wars because you don't know what you're going into and you need a mech that can do anything.
I mean, I definitely don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, if you're going to put it down between an Archer or an Orion, you go Archer.
Look, I'm just going to stick with my standard pick. Give me the Annihilator, and I will walk towards you very slowly. And you'll keep shooting at me, and I'll keep walking. And as soon as I get close enough, I win.
Oh, but you have fun Yeah.
Sir, I'll just keep backing up and shooting.
No, you're not allowed to do that. That's
backing
Intersphere tactics don't include walking backwards.
Yeah, the reverse gear on most battle mechs has been dead for years. Okay, so Eldon, I'm gonna speed through a few things. Just like clearly everybody in chat knows Eldonius Rex. Eldon does the art for Text Talks Battletech. Not all of the art, but a lot of the art for TTB. He also works for Catalyst and produces art for them. Works. It's not full time, is it? It's still.
Oh no. Hardly anybody works full time for Catalyst.
Okay.
Parallax, pull your hand down or pull the camera up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. Catalyst, I think it's only a handful of people are actually full time employed. Everybody else is pretty much freelance. Even the art director over the minis is still technically freelance.
Wow. Well, I guess they're not putting out minis all that often. At least new ones.
They got a lot in the pipeline. They always seem to be working on something. I think there's a bunch of Dark Age sculpts coming out soon.
Really?
Boo.
Yeah.
Wait, define soon. Because that feels like that...
TM soon.
Okay. So after the Kickstarter deliveries.
I just know I've seen new models for a bunch of Jade Falcon stuff.
Huh.
And I'm not exactly sure when they're coming out. But if you like
are you supposed to be telling us?
Eldonius, if you
it's not like anybody listens.
Oh,
if you had...
I'm wounded.
Wow.
Oh. Wow. Oh, my very soul.
Nope, you get to answer the dumb questions now.
Red or blue? What would you paint a mech?
I'm partial to blue, but red goes faster.
He sounds like
red goes faster. Okay.
Hmm.
Parallax, I will answer you, call, because all I have to do to not have to fight you is just tell another Merrick where you are.
What the fuck is
Hey,
Free Corn Thursday?
How's the cars? How is the cars further away from me than you are?
Hey, let's you and him fight is a time-honored tradition.
I will say I have done quite a bit of Merrick artwork for CGL, but we're waiting for that stuff to be released.
Pillager equals win. The Orion isn't all a good or all around mech. It may not have a focus, but it can fill in at almost anything, says Wookie.
I mean, if it's neither hot nor cold, it shall be spat out.
Oof. Oof.
I'm feeling very attacked right now.
I feel like he doesn't understand soup.
Hey, listen, you're either a tortilla soup or you're a gazpacho. Which one are you?
There are soups that are neither, sir. Are you not aware of the chowder family?
Yeah, but chowder's still hot, isn't it?
I mean, not by the time it gets served to you 30 minutes later because there was a giant run on the place and they put it in the bread bowl 4 hours ago and it's been sitting under a heat lamp.
Yeah,
sir, this does not sound like ideal situation for soup.
Sir, this is
the inner sphere isn't an ideal place for soup either, but here we are.
This is an Olive Garden. That's exactly what you came here for.
That's true.
Understandable.
Well, that's why my mom likes it.
Because it's slow and your food's cold.
It's tepid and unchallenging.
Can we... So the Olive Garden is the McDonald's of Olive Garden.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Night Owl. Thank Sir Shaggy-O. You now have your pants back.
You've been bebridged.
Dux, I'm not making the machine answer how many beans fit in the Technodrome again.
He was not happy about that.
It was very upset.
Okay, so Eldon, I want to give you a chance real quick to tell chat, because I know this because I met you in the meat space the one time. Do you want to tell chat how you ended up working for Catalyst?
That is actually thanks to Tex. It was kind of a weird time because it was like early days of I think like mid or early days of like the pandemic shutdown. And I was just sitting at home kind of bored, and I was like trying to find things to listen to and watch on YouTube. And I ran across Tex's channel. And, he's doing Battletech lore, and he was doing, little short videos. I think at that time we were midway through the Clans and Elementals two-parter.
Okay.
And I saw that he was going to do the Mackie. And, I'm bored. At the time, I was doing, drawing, birds and tanks, if you haven't heard that story before.
I haven't heard that story, but we'll get to it.
So anyway, it was just like, oh, there's not a lot for Mackie, and I'm kind of the strange artist where I don't do a lot of things for no reason. Usually I have an end goal in mind when I do something. So it's like, oh, I could use the excuse to draw some science fiction stuff. So I shot an email over the Tex and was like, hey, I'll do some artwork for you. Mackie, there's not going to be a lot.
What the fuck
and
is Free Corn Thursday?
It was very funny at the time because Tex is like, oh wow, you don't usually, we'll take whatever work you want to contribute. So I did that Mackie episode, and Tex is also the one. Very early days. There is still some of that artwork that holds up pretty well, but that was
I'm sorry,
the
you
first
fucking
time
kidding? You killed that shit.
Yeah, you did.
Considering I was there first.
Hold up. I just observationally, getting an artist to admit that anything they've done in the past is anything other than the largest dumpster fire possible is amazing.
See, Para, see,
Shut up.
see,
Shut up.
see.
So saying it stands up, A, accurate, B, that's nice.
Yeah, I think the 801st, the big Mackie fight scene and the stuff holds up pretty well. And there's a few things that do, but I had not drawn robots in a very long time. So that was
were you already
a whole
familiar
new
with
thing to me.
Battletech when you started this?
When I was a wee lad, I had a bunch
you
of
watched the
Battletech
cartoon.
I did not watch the cartoon because I was a country kid and we did not have many channels. So I did not really know that the cartoon existed at the time. And basically, I lived in the country. So basically, it was like whatever scraps I can scrounge from a small town. And it's a small town that did not have like a bookstore or a comic book store or anything. You would just like kind of hear about things from like friends, older brothers would be like, yeah, this thing called Battletech. And, you know, they'd have the books or something. So
whispered, hushed conversations in the corners of rooms.
And like I went to the B Dalton and I bought like the $20 starter box. So I had like the starter box and I had the City Tech box. So but I couldn't get my friends to play. They were not interested in playing. So I was like kind of peripherally aware of Battletech. And then like but I don't know like the super deep details just about like this and that, and maybe played like we had the old DOS first person game. I had
Crescent Hawk.
No, it was the one that was like the wireframe.
Okay, yeah, I think that was the first Mech Warrior game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just remember my main tactic in that game, since I sucked at it so much, was just get a locust, run out as far as possible, then just get behind all the enemies in that game because they would never turn to attack you. So if you just ran out quick in the locust, you got like right behind them, you could just shoot them in the back endlessly and they'd never turn around to shoot you, which worked like on 90% of the missions. And then there was like, you know, the SNES games, the first person one Yeah, hot tip. I know you guys came in here for Super Nintendo tips, but I'm going to give you one for that Mech Warrior game. When you're negotiating for a mission, if you negotiate just 5 C-bills more each time, just to like a very small amount, you can actually max out the price for every mission because they'll never say no to just 5 more C-bills.
If you're willing to put in the time to exploit the game script, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. Stop sunk costing the AI. It's very rude.
But had no AIs lately, and he's become, you know, very supportive.
Well, they're not going to have any budget left for the rest of the war.
Okay.
But yeah, coming back to the story. Anyway, so Tex was getting me back into the lore of Battletech, so I offered to help work for him. And it's actually Tex who first convinced me to kind of do the print pack. So he was like behind, like, hey, you should sell prints. And I was like, I don't think anybody really wants these. So, you know, put together like the first Mackie pack, like way back in the day. And like it sold very well at the time. So it was fantastic. And then the weird thing happened after that, like right after doing the Mackie thing, was suddenly when like I get I'm going to butcher his last name, Ray Arista. What is Ray? How do you pronounce his last name? Like he just sends me a random message on Facebook. It's like, hey, come work for Battletech. And I'm like, okay. And he introduced me over to the art director there, Brent Evans. So back and forth. So I started working there with Brent, and from there, like I started doing stuff for Anthony. And it was about the same time I got contacted by the Heavy Gear, Nick Huseman, who works over on Heavy Gear. Like
for the people in the audience that don't know, what is Heavy Gear?
All right, let me take you back to the past again. Yeah, Merc 3 3060. Yeah, Aristia. Nah, I should know. I've talked to him so many times. Okay, back in the ancient days of yore, back in the past, before anime was a thing in the Western world, like a bunch of anime, when it came over, the concepts of anime would come over, be kind of like westernized. Anybody who knows like what I'm talking about is like, yeah, like Battletech, or it's like when you get those old Nintendo game cartridges, how like it'd be like an anime themed game, but they'd like have a comic book dude do like a new cover for it, or like you're not going to get like new Robotech here, so a company like Antarctic Press would kind of do like knockoff anime. And like, so if you have any of the old Breath of Fire games, they've all have like the Americanized artwork on them. and stuff. So anyway, Heavy Gear was kind of like that. It was kind of like an Americanized Armored Trooper Votoms. So it's taking like a lot of those concepts and turning into an RPG and a tabletop game on its own, except in its way, instead of doing like super large mechs like Battletech did, like much smaller mechs that are like, I think they're about like 10 feet tall, about
like you said,
or thereabouts. Armored Trooper Votoms.
Which,
and
for those of you that don't know, that is a series that was from the same creator as Fist of the Sun Duger.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
Fist, yeah, the Fist of the Sun Duger, or Dugram, yeah. Like practically all of early BattleTech is stolen from Dugram. It's just like when you watch Dugram, you understand like all that early BattleTech art all of a sudden.
It's like 70 some odd episodes taking advantage of that immediate post first Gundam series stuff, except like it actually makes sense.
And like once you see Dugram and you understand like why a lot of early mech warriors like, you know, fought in their underwear, it's like, because Dugram has a lot of that stuff.
Okay. Does Dugram explain it, or is it just we do this now because style?
It might be artistic style.
Actually, knowing Dugram, there's probably there's a whole episode about that specifically.
Yeah,
somebody gets overheated because they're not, blah blah blah. Yeah,
anyway. and everybody has a thing for their ass sticking to their faux leather mech seats.
Yeah.
But
it is called the warrior's seatbelt.
By the time you get to the 31st century, the Naga hide is actually made from a genetically engineered creature called a Naga.
But anyway, Heavy Gear used to be really popular and successful in the 80s and 90s. Part of that was because when I think Microsoft, who was it? Was it who originally did the BattleTech stuff?
That was Fast Interactive.
Fasta.
I was thinking the computer games. Like Microsoft owns the rights to them now.
Fast
so
had
for the
an
computer
in-house
game
development firm that was Fast Interactive.
Well, Microsoft did like 2 Heavy Gear games.
Huh.
I believe so. Or who was that? Sierra. I might be getting them mixed up.
We are getting information from chat that the early stuff would have been Activision.
Okay, was that like the same time as Genome was out? So I remember that as another weird mech option.
Not sure. There was like Earth Siege, and later Star Siege was kind of like
my
Earth
jam.
Siege,
Tribes, but mechs.
No,
but like,
no. Hold up! I need to pick a fight right now. Because
I'm
Earth
just
Siege,
always astonished that Earth Siege and Tribes are in the same setting.
Yeah, it's kind of wacky.
Okay, yes, that's very annoying, but it's only because they wanted to use the word cybrid, and they didn't have a better excuse.
Main thing I remember from Earth Siege was as hard as hell to play on my computer.
Fair.
And the death scene scared the shit out of me.
You see, Earth Siege was so hard to play on those 486 computers back in the early and mid 90s that I had a copy of Earth Siege 2 and have never played it because I went from a Windows 3.1 computer that couldn't run it to a Windows 98 computer that was too advanced to run it.
Honestly, skip it. Just go straight to Star Siege.
I remember playing, having LAN parties in the school computer lab on Star Siege.
Yeah,
and they
Star
actually
Siege, the game that predicted Twitter.
And it also had a RTS game too.
Okay, so what is the most cursed? What is the most cursed piece of art you've ever done, Eldonius?
Most cursed? Oh,
yeah.
Jeez. I'm trying to think. And
here's the measuring stick. He's gonna say it, and it's not Sexy Crab Lady.
No, that stuff's for fun. I like Sexy Crab Lady. I haven't drawn a Sexy Crab Lady in a long time. A lot of people in hunchbacks have got sexy crab ladies because they're like the only holographic stickers I had left to throw in as extras. So if you got a sexy crab lady, consider yourself lucky because there won't be any more of them.
Oh no, the sexy crab is being hunted to extinction.
I've got a rare sticker of sexy crab
I
lady.
do too. I just have to find her.
Yeah, so consider. I mean, the only other one would be because that was like for people who don't know. Usually around Halloween or sometime of the year, like I'll do some sexy monster girls or some Halloween themed stickers. And before that, in the comic book days, I was doing like the D&D themed one, just like cheesecake kind of lowbrow art. And so I had a lot of that stuff sitting around, and you could still find like most of them on the website. But yeah,
So
I did
website
draw
is that?
quite a few crab girls.
So what you're saying is they were really hot sellers.
No, they have never sold well off of the website. They sell well at conventions, but they do not sell well off the website. But they make me laugh and feel good, so I still do them every year.
So I'm going to interrupt because commerce makes the world go round, but I haven't heard of this before. What website would that be?
That would be www.astray3, that's ASTRAY 3.bigcartel.com.
Excellent.
So yeah, there's a lot of D&D themed ones on there. You could still get the previous year's Monster Girl pack.
I think Big Titty Mummy Girl is still available.
You can definitely get Big Titty Mummy Girl in a discount pack with Xenomorph Girl and Creature from the Black Lagoon Girl.
Folks, like, I don't know how you're going to hear about a better deal. Start filling your Christmas stockings now. Big Titty Mummy Girl and Xenomorph Girl for your siblings and parents.
Oh yeah, they make great stocking stuffers. This year, Monster Girls will largely be cryptid themed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, shit. Now I'm gonna have to buy Big Titty Bigfoot.
Not that. We're not big Titty Bigfoot yet.
I was not prepared for the revelation.
No,
Maze Hughes is asking a good question. Why Astray 3? What is the significance of that name?
It is a constant reminder of failure and a life I no longer live.
Delightful.
Because that's the name of the web comic I was working on and heavily promoting before the robots.
So it's a stepping stone that got you where you are today.
Not really. Nobody cared about it. It was just like all the infrastructure was set up around that. And it was just like, well, so we're still kind of using it even as we go into like full-time robot stuff.
So what I'm hearing you say is it's going to be bigtittymummygirl.com any day now.
Wait, is that available?
Because I'm too lazy to change the names.
Don't worry,
but web
Squic
forwarding
is
is super
go
easy.
ahead and get you bigtittymummygirl.com right now.
I am not promising that. It's going to be like $50,000 and owned by a mining company.
It's okay, babe, because you know what? That's a lot more confusing to tell people than Astray 3. And like when someone asks what I do, I don't want to have to direct them over to bigtittymummygirl.uk.
Yes, Grandma. Okay, why did you start art in general? What inspired you to become an artist?
Sorry, quick update. I've just checked. BigTittyMummyGirl.com is available.
Thank God. I was so worried for a minute somebody had taken that and like you were walking into some horrible, horrible porn trap that you were never going to escape from.
You know what? I could definitely see that being somebody's kink.
Yeah, BigTittyMummyGirl.info. Also available at a modest upcharge.
So if it wasn't before tonight, somebody in chat has that kink now.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because they can go to BigTittyMummyGirl.store.
What the fuck is free corn?
But here's the thing.
For the first year.
Here's the thing you got to be concerned about with that kink is like, is it mummifying the girl or unwrapping the girl?
Well, it's a kink that's best kept under wraps.
This is This is a rabbit hole. I do not want to go any
Because
further.
we're getting close to you're getting close to a snuff film if you go the other way with it.
TOS.
Cookie desperately trying to steer us around.
What the fuck is Freak
Yeah,
on
what got
Thursday?
you started in art?
Was
mainly,
it the Mummy Girl? Or perhaps
when I was a young man, I did not know of Mummy Girl.
There was no Mummy Girl until he create Mummy Girl.
Mummy Girl was things undreamt of. Actually, more or less, while I got into art, was like I was way into storytelling. So I was trying to build the skills and the faculties to, create my own stories and tell my own stories.
Oh, cool.
So that's like the main motivating factor. Not exactly what I'm doing right now.
Well, it leads into a question I had wanted to ask. Do you have an art school background, or is this something that you built up on your own time?
I do have, well, like a lot of people, the art school background I have is a poor young man growing up in rural Arkansas getting suckered into going to one of those like trade schools that were popular in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Gotcha.
Send us a sample of your art and your entry is guaranteed.
Pretty much, like
draw the rest of the fucking owl.
They because at that time, of course, my parents, like single mother, couldn't afford to send me to a $23,000 a year art school. And
is what you're saying.
Wasn't going to go to Ringling in Sarasota, Florida, or and it definitely was not good enough at the time to like even think of like something like a Cal Arts or something.
It cost $400,000 to go to art school for 12 seconds.
And you will never earn that much.
I need to interrupt here real quick and stop Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf, Florida Man may be a cryptid, but I don't need big titty Florida Man.
That's not going to stop them.
Now let's be fair.
Why not? Because I don't.
There are Florida women, and there can even be Florida MBs.
Florida folk.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just meth woman.
It's just
Lord.
big Florida trying to get you to buy more Florida.
Okay, Eldonius, what is better?
I'm sorry, I just saw the words "big titty Mothman," and I can't.
Hey, listen, I hadn't even mentioned that yet, so don't spoil it for everybody.
Oh shit!
Oh, you had my interest. Now you have my attention.
Oh shit! If you make a big titty Mothman sticker,
Big
I'm gonna have
titty
to buy
Mothmac
it and send it to people. Like it's not for me. I'm just gonna ship it to people. They won't know where it came from. I've done this before.
See, the main thing right now is I'm just trying to figure out the pose. But some brownie points. Anybody out there who can guess what the other two are?
Oh, sorry, other two what? I was distracted by Big Titty Mothmac.
I would like to point out the fact that I have Night Owl's address.
Oh, sweet Lord. In other people's address you have, yes.
True.
Yeah. Okay, Locust wants to know, which is better, Hunch Crab or Irby Back? I don't know why this has been in my head for days, so I gotta know.
Hunch Crab, because I am a fan of the crabs.
Crab.
Not those crabs.
Crab.
And Sparrow says I need to introduce you to Grundleman and Uwu Boy, but
No.
but they were drawn very quickly and they're kind of derpy, so I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. It is 10 o'clock. Eldon, Eldon's not a big watcher of the show, so he hasn't experienced Us or Ain't.
Oh shit, let's do it.
So, real quick before you go, and while Locust Labs is still around, a special thank you to Locust Labs right now, because she is helping me out on a super secret project that hopefully we will be revealing in a few months.
Excellent.
Well, or a month.
All right.
Cool.
And a special thanks to her for putting up with all my notes.
We're not going anywhere. We're just going to do us or ain't.
I think.
Oh no! I just don't want to keep her around all night while she's still here.
Oh god, I'm now seeing Vectron talk about Krabothoth. I did that one night like 3 months ago, and it's never going away, is it?
Wait, can it fight the Macho Mech?
Krabothoth is a god. You can't fight Krabothoth.
Yeah, I could if I had a mech.
Not well. Oh god.
I never said well.
Okay. Anyway, us or ain't.
Us or ain't.
Oh, right, the thing we're supposed to be doing.
I don't know about supposed to be. I don't know that anybody's.
Do not ooh-woo the Krabothoth.
Clip it. Somebody clip it. I need that quote.
Oh god. Okay, here we go. Us or ain't. This is how it works. This is how it works. We put up a prediction for 2 minutes.
Wager goob.
You put your goob in, and we pull up a random quote, and the quote may be us, and that is anybody here that's Eldonius, which I don't know if he has any, Squic, Parallax, me. That also includes the 4 who are absent, which are Hauzakar, Mad Ducks, Wookie, and Warlax. And so then if it's any of those 8 people, it'll be us, and if it's not, it'll be ain't.
It'll be a random quote. We have no idea what it'll be.
No idea. And yeah.
The odds are on ain't, but the us is a huge payoff if it hits.
Send it to one of us via DM, Dusk Ruben.
What's that?
The song for us or ain't.
God.
He has a song.
I was told
he has a song.
that someone was requesting the song. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no.
Oh no.
Oh yes, if you want to, that way I can dump some in. Oh yes, there is a third option. It is Grugno like goob bad, and that basically is if you have too much goob like I do, you can dump your goob in, and people can.
Whoever wins will get your goob.
Yeah, your goob. Right.
I have no goob. I am goobless.
Well, then you should watch WBPL 76 at twitch.tv/WBPL 76 more. Because
WBPL 76. It has programming.
Arguably. Which reminds me, we have an auxiliary, and there's a
There you
way
go.
to find it.
There you go. You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
There's like almost 90 people in here right now, which is a pretty high number for this show. If you don't know, we have an auxiliary, and Grimos has just prompted the bot to tell you how to find it. So if you want to join the BPL auxiliary, that's how you do it. And also there's a YouTube archive that was just linked. So, Eldon, this was a question I wanted to get. We have an hour left of the show. I don't know how long this is going to take. So, you have
an amount of it.
Some art school background. You're not very complimentary of it, it sounds like.
If anybody knows what Collins College is, I think that's what it's called now.
Yes.
In Phoenix, Arizona. I went to when it was still called Al Collins.
So I can tell you that it was, I suppose it still is, a nationally accredited college, which up until very recently, when the Department of Education started coming down on people, meant that colleges that were regionally accredited would not accept transfer credits from them. Most of the colleges that you've heard of, your state universities, your community colleges, et cetera, are regionally accredited by groups like the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. A lot of these for-profits are not regionally accredited. That's changed recently. We're not going to get into it. I know this stuff for professional reasons.
Oh no. I love it, Dusk Ruben. I love it.
Oh no.
There's lyrics.
Oh, it's the quote. It's quote 1377.
Yes!
Holy shit, is it
So many
us?
things.
It's
It is
us!
How do you accidentally find out that your monster truck floats?
How in
Squic,
that's like
you-
2 weeks in a row it's us. That's bizarre. Okay, so the question, okay, so you went to questionable art school.
Very questionable.
Very questionable. Okay. and
Well, no question, it was an art school.
It was a school, there was art. Do you feel like you gained a lot from that? Like, I'm getting the impression that's a no, but do you feel like you gained some skills from that experience?
Well, like when I went to it, I went for computer animation.
Okay.
And that's where I found out that I do not want to do animation because I'm a greedy son of a bitch and I want all the recognition for me. And if you work in animation, your name gets buried beneath 5,000 dozen people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
so
what
it being
got me
College
just to
College
focus
at
on.
the time, was that the best of Maya or the best of as cheap as possible Blender in the early aughts?
Oh gosh, no Blender. Back then it was Maya.
Okay.
It was like the first couple editions of Maya. If you know what Bingo the Clowno is, that's when that kind of first came out.
Okay.
What is that noise?
I'm sorry, that's me screwing around with an industrial syringe.
Okay, I was just like, pop, 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 and I was like, what the hell?
Explain to me, please, Bingo the Clowno, because that definitely sounds like a space station, spaceman, space name.
It does sound like a Space Station 13
Well,
thing.
back in the day, right about when Toy Story, the first Toy Story was coming out, like computer animation was, computer animation was very much in its infancy. And before that, any computer animation you saw was like those weird demos. It's like a musical instruments playing themselves or something
the
like
thousand
that.
ball
So it
bearings
was-
following an improbable path.
So it was
Well-
either ILM making the effects for the Abyss, or it was, look what I made with my Amiga.
And basically, at a time, people hadn't really learned how to make 3D animation emote very well. It wasn't very flexible. So, there's a reason the toys in Toy Story are toys, and they don't focus on the people very much. Bingo the Clown. Yeah. It wasn't until like Toy Story 2 and they showed the collector guy from Toy Story 2 blew all of our minds. Bingo the Clowno.
Water break.
Oh yes, I
And
must drink the liquid powder.
Water.
Okay.
So-
Also, Lucas Lab says don't disrespect Blender, and Vectron responds with early aughts. Blender was a very, very troubled creation. Comparing Blender then to Blender today is like
Yeah, it ain't.
Photoshop CC to MS Paint.
It is not the same creature.
It's
Yeah,
not.
no.
However, Blender's been around since the 90s. It was an honest question.
But yeah, so basically, Bingo the Clowno was a short film made to be kind of the showcase for Maya at the time, where it's like a guy sits in a room and everybody says he's Bingo the Clowno, and he says, I'm not Bingo the Clowno, and eventually he relents and says he's Bingo the Clowno. So anyway, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. But yeah, that was like...
Sounds extremely cursed. One moment.
I feel like I've seen this.
Storm Song says it's like comparing Squic with Parallax. Now we don't know which side is
I
which.
don't know what that means. I'm not sure I want to know what that means.
Which is which? You
Okay.
know?
Anyway.
And also Storm Song says stretch your meats.
So I search for the thing. I go to the internet. And the top result is a video from the Bong Master that opens with an advertisement for the U.S. Army.
This is clearly exactly what you're looking for.
It's like you're high already. You might want to.
So, okay. So you learned some Maya at the time and decided this is absolutely not what you wanted to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So that was when I went over and started focusing on illustration and wanting to do comic books and such. And basically that, and then later I was able to bullshit my way into a graphic design job where I was able to kind of learn how to do Illustrator and a bunch of other programs. But the thing I'd say about that school, I mean, I'm sure if you go to like a top-notch school, you can learn something, but like it's a little like for-profit school that's just kind of getting you there in like a meat grinder
and extracting
for
as
money.
much financial aid from you as they can.
Pretty much. Like, there's definitely a level there. But the main thing about going to a school at that time was it was like the only real way to get access to like a high-end computer. Because you weren't really going to do 3D animation on the Packard Bell at home. So, you know, you go to a school that would at least have like Silicon Graphics machines or something, so you could like learn how to do it.
Processor wasn't going to do the job.
And, you know, piracy or however you got a hold of the programs, you know, was still very difficult to do at that time, because now you have Blender, and Blender is a fantastic tool.
Or Krita or Inkscape or any of those that are pretty
Yeah, I mean, I see people do amazing stuff with Blender all the time, and I've been learning.
I made this figure with Blender.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And like I've been learning how to do Blender, so some of that old 3D animation knowledge is coming back a bit when I'm working with Blender these days, because working on stuff for Catalyst and things back and forth requires like a little bit of Blender knowledge, because you got to like learn to work with their models that they send over to you.
I really hope they're sending you Blender models, like their .blend file format.
Oh, not just like a model from their printed like in pewter line in the middle of like a NutriBullet.
Yeah,
they're sent over usually as object files.
Okay,
so
BJ is nice.
Get that way front. Okay, so this is a question that I really need an answer to, because like I said, I've been steering into some light mech design lately. I've been working on some commissions this week for original stuff that's not, you know, existing mechs. So my question for you, and I think I primed you for this question, is you get to a piece of fantastically old art that Dwayne Luce drew in 1993. And like it's all that early 90s Battletech art where it's entirely smooth, and it's like it's an egg with a few panel lines on it.
I have a pet name that I have for early Battletech art.
Enlighten us.
I refer to it as protractor porn because it feels like it's just a person with a bunch of rulers and protractors and circle templates, just sat down, draws a few lines, and says, "Yep, that's a mech."
Yeah, that feels about right. That went on right up until about 1996.
Because like I like some of that wacky stuff that like whoever had to come in and try to replace the unseen mechs at the time. Like I do have a soft spot for old Battletech art, but yeah, it's just like I am continually bemused like by what they had to do for like a Tro filler. And it'd be like, and like the legs don't work, the arms don't work, there's no rhyme or reason to the mechanics of it.
Somebody
it's
sent
just like
me one the other day. I'm trying to remember what it was. I'll look it up while you talk. Oh god.
Yeah, like I just did the Kentaro art for that Bad Mech Sarna article.
Yeah.
And lucky enough, you know, we have modern iterations of the Kentaro. But you look at the old Kentaro, and like, man, you talk about a thigh gap. That boy, it's a mile wide with skinny legs and skinny arms. It's just like, yeah, but that's not even the worst offender that I've seen.
The Fire Falcon was one that somebody sent to me the other day, and I'll drop that link in chat real quick, because this art is mystifyingly bad. Like, I don't think this mech is functional.
Here's the thing, you know, something that occurs to me all of a sudden about this is like, we can look back with bemusement at these old janky mechs, and say like, oh, what the hell were they thinking back then? But what actually boggles my mind a bit right now is to think like people thought those were cool.
Cool enough to buy the models. The models, which,
Yeah.
by the way, look exactly like this.
Well,
That
you go
sounds
to
kind of
Iron
amazing.
Winds and you see like whatever old janky sculpt they had, and you're like, what? How high was the guy who sculpted this?
You see, this is exactly why I went ahead and made an Emperor, because the trash can arms, man. The trash doesn't matter. So when you get into something like that, how the hell do you modernize that? Like, my first thought when I look at that is, okay, what is the single thing here that is recognizable? Emperor wide. We'll go with wide and go from there. But like,
I mean, that Emperor model doesn't look too bad. I mean, that's like not the most egregious thing. Now, I have a trouble envisioning how it would walk.
Yeah.
Like, how does this thing waddle along? Like, do the legs just spin like 360, like a Roadrunner, and just clumps on the ground? It just goes fast enough that one is always in contact with the ground.
Yup.
And maybe who wants to know?
But well, normally you got plenty of guidelines for this stuff these days. Because like, you know,
but like when
CGL's
you made
gonna
the Mackie, you didn't. And you
no,
managed
when
to
I
take
did the
that thing and make it look like not shit.
Yeah, the Mackie. I have such fondness for the Mackie because I built an entire career on that mech. And like the actual official CGL model is pretty much my Mackie, with a few of like I think Bishop Steiner's touches. But
Which
yeah,
I had the proliferation pack sitting here somewhere.
Yeah, I got a copy. I was able to get a copy of it at Gen Con, and I need to get it out and paint my Mackie. But a lot of it, like now, you have a lot of guides to go by for modernizing mechs, because you can go, well, do you want to go the flying debris like PGI route? Do you want to go a CGL route? And like a lot of it's just like trying to like make the general shape make sense. And then you can kind of like build up the layers around it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like you can build up layers of shapes and objects on top. And usually this challenge comes around whenever working on like stuff for Sarna. Because when Sarna does a bad mech article, sometimes they'll name a mech I have no idea. Because I believe we did the Hoplite. And I'm trying to remember what the name of the really egg-shaped one was.
It sounds like an Oz Scout, but I don't think it was that.
It wasn't the Oz Scout. I remember the art I did had a very like Dr. Eggman look to it. I can probably find it real quick. But usually in that case, it's like you don't want to like in those ways. I don't think you want to get like too far away from whatever charm people saw at the time. So you're just trying to take the general shapes and like put some sense to them. I don't think it was the Fire Bee. Man, it's been a long time. But
Imp, Irby, Hornet, the one Irby, the one type of Irby.
I think it's the Hornet.
The Hornet is a pretty goofy looking critter.
Yeah. But usually you're just looking there and you're just like try to figure out like where you can add mechanisms to make them make sense. Because the thing is like I said, even like we see that stuff as derpy now, but someone thought that was really cool back in the day. So there's definitely like a neck beard out there that probably loves the old Hornet design. So you're like, you know, you want to kind of like
I don't know about those ones, but Wookie likes a lot of the older ones. He likes, you know, the maybe not those, but he likes. I don't know which ones, but he likes a lot of the early stuff. But that's what he started on too. So
Chad, it's a red letter day. You get a talk with Eldonius and an unboxing video. It's a great day. So this is the Mackie we're talking about. This is the CGL Mackie based off of Eldon's work, and as he said, a couple of touches from Bishop Steiner, and it looks entirely too good. Like This doesn't.
It really does.
This doesn't look like shit. If you look at the original Mackie art, it is goofy as hell.
One thing, you're gonna get those lasers a little bit higher, so they don't look like dick lasers anymore.
No, bring back the dick laser. What is the largest firearm weapon accessory you have had to integrate into a mech's genitalia-bearing region? Professional.
That's a Squic question. That is definitely a question Squic asks. I like the answer from Ziggy Fool. It's a COD PPC.
Dick Godzilla.
We're definitely gonna mention like Robot Jocks, the Dick Chainsaw.
Yep.
Oh, I had forgotten the dick chainsaw.
I mean, there's also always the option. I think this came up last week again for giant enemy scrotum.
Wait, why did that thing have a dick chainsaw? That makes no sense. That movie was weird.
I love Robot Jocks a lot, but there is definitely a part of the movie where it's just like, all right,
can we get away with?
Well, you get to the final scene where it's the final battle, and like Alexander knocks Athena down, and like Achilles gets into the mech, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, we're gonna have the big showdown."
He knows this shit off the cuff.
Yes,
that's pretty alright.
I do know my Robot Jocks lore, but like out of nowhere, suddenly the fucking mechs turn into spaceships, and they're gonna fly into space and shoot lasers at each other for a good solid couple minutes. Then they land, and that's when Achilles' mechs like injures its foot, so suddenly it has like tank treads in the back of its legs, so he goes into like a tank mode. And then that's when he tries to go beneath the legs of Alexander's mech, and that's when the dick chainsaw comes out.
This is the weirdest conversation I've had on this show, and that is saying something.
Oh, a lot.
That's...
Oh, come on.
We once had a
Fanstar.
30-minute conversation on this show that was nothing but like 5 of us going, ha-ba-ba?
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they have to fight? Like, okay, so I haven't seen that movie in over 20 years. Probably closer to 30.
That old, is it?
Time has moved on. So I need you to fact check me, because I think I remember like a jungle gym climb to the death.
Yes, there was a jungle gym climb to death.
Dog.
With a victory hot dog. Well, hot dogs were real meat. So that was a thing. It's like he goes to visit, Achilles goes to visit his family. And they're like, oh, welcome. For celebration, we're having real meat. And she thawed out some hot dogs.
Not hot dogs, plural. One. I remember one hot dog.
Listen, it's the future. We take what we can get. But the jungle gym of death was basically because the whole premise of the movie, of course, is that like territorial disputes are won in giant robot fights,
much as they should be.
So,
to be fair, way cooler.
Yeah. So basically, I think the United Western World Line started making like test tube babies. So they were making like AKA Perfect
Clanners.
Warrior people. Yeah, they were making clanners, and to determine which clanner was good enough to get in the giant robot, they had to do a jungle gym of death, where they climbed up a jungle gym through a hole in the ceiling. Listen, Fossa got this stuff from somewhere.
I thought most of their design was, I saw it in a vision I had while I was sleeping from being awake.
The muses themselves came... Muses came to me during a nap and told me to make space Romans and call them the Tog.
Wait, didn't Robot Jocks have a commercial for Robot Jocks 2?
It might have. Like none of the Robot Jocks movies after the first are worth a damn. So
I'm sorry, they made sequels?
Yes, you did not know.
One moment. Oh, also, Big Titty Yeti Girl is also apparently available.
I will give you guys it. There will not be a Big Titty Yeti Girl this year. Although, actually, that is a pretty good idea.
I mean, isn't that just albino Big Titty Bigfoot?
I'm pretty sure that's a different one. Wait, isn't albino just shiny for not Pokemon?
let's just say that Yeti Girl is chronically perky.
Wait, is Bigfoot a Pokemon?
Yeah, in our world.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I'm trying to get over Perky Yeti.
Chronically perky. Nah.
Wow.
Okay, I was going to search for something, but I completely forgot. Oh, right, Dick's Chainsaw 2, the Robo...
I can name them. I can name most of them to you, because the honorary sequel is Robot Wars, which Mystery Science Theater 3000 did cover.
Yes, I remember this from the video store. I never saw it.
And then there's Crash and Burn, but I can't recall Crash and Burn. Yeah. So none of them quite live up to the legacy of Robot Jocks.
Wait, didn't Robot Wars have exactly 0 minutes of robot fight?
It's got like a giant robot scorpion that travels the desert and shoots at tanks for, I guess it's like a big desert bus. And then
okay, so it's post-apocalyptic scorpion desert bus.
It's post-apocalyptic desert scorpion bus. And it fights another robot like at the end.
Yeah.
It is not very good. It's not Full Moon Entertainment's best shot at the genre.
That sounds a lot like, we made a Godzilla movie. Nice. We didn't have money for Godzilla.
And there's a weirdo spiritual sequel that I can't recall what the name of it is, where it's like they're fighting giant alien robots in like an arena or something. I can't recall. That might be Crash and Burn.
This sounds like a Google search time. So, Robot Dick Chainsaw Fight versus Aliens.
Okay. While you're doing that, I want to ask Eldonius a question that, or at least get his opinion on something that's kind of, something I think all creatives deal with, and I kind of fuss at our creatives about it a lot because
we all suck.
That's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth.
No, that's what we say.
Exactly. How do you and how do you deal with the, oh, this isn't good enough, the
imposter syndrome,
because this is something we're all dealing with at some point or another. We created something and it's like, oh, this is shit, and everybody goes, oh, this is beautiful, and you're like,
you're just saying that.
Speaking, like, I know a lot of people who are like professional business that like even they get kind of like tripped up by that. Mainly the main thing that gets you past that, well, is like, I always my personal philosophy on it, at least, is that an imperfect something is always better than a perfect nothing.
Hoorah. Okay.
And it's like, it's basically, you could sit and sketch in your sketchbook forever, but unless you're out there finishing pieces, like, you're not really going to like develop. Because no art's really complete until it meets the audience. And that's where you start to gauge what works and what doesn't work.
Ooh, that's
now, as for not feeling like secure about the artwork you do. Now, here's the thing. 90% of the time, nobody gives a darn. If you put out something that's not very good, most people are not going to hound you over it.
Unless you fucked up the Hornet and that neckbeard's really pissed about it.
Yeah. And also, as a professional who depends on finishing stuff to make a living, I mean, you've got to have a point where you go like, well, that's enough, and you have to put on your hat, your salesman hat, and start selling it whether you like it or not.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's going to be like, you invested 30 hours in this piece of art.
Right.
And you might not feel it's your best, but it's like, you got to earn something off of this time investment. So get out there and start selling it to people.
Right. It's sleep time before I go. How much paint water do I have to drink before I can piss rainbows?
I lack the experience to answer that question.
Oh,
I advise against finding out.
7 magma, correct.
That's a paint water factor of 7.
So I
Okay, so-
googled. Oh, go ahead.
Noob Skills says I wasn't asked, but my 2 cents says I know what I'm doing, and thus I know what I am doing wrong. The audience has no idea what I'm doing, but they fucking love it.
I mean, the thing is like if the audience likes it, I mean, it's hard to argue with the audience.
No, it isn't.
It's like, well, I don't know why you're into this, but like, I'm happy it's working out.
Squic, you could argue with a tree, so you're not a good example.
Trees are very easy to argue with. They don't argue back. If you get into an argument with a squirrel in the tree, though, like they'll throw things at you.
They will. That is accurate. Well, Eldon, I wanted to ask you another question, because this is me running into stuff again, where like I'm trying to update stuff, and let's say you were trying to update an old mech, and this is me grabbing something that's right in front of me. I don't want anybody to think that this is a judgment on this model, okay? Let's say I grabbed something like this. This is an albatross.
Albatross.
Which is Mad Duck's favorite mech. But this is a mech for which there are like 3 pieces of art. And it's very bare. And there's not much in the way of detail to it.
Yo, man, screw that mech.
So, like, let's say you are working on updating this and you are trying to do that thing where you're adding functionality to it where you find it, but you get to a spot where it's...
What the fuck is Freecorn Thursday?
And you're trying to figure out, I've got a blank spot here. Logically, I can't think of anything to put in this spot. What's your go-to filler on something like that? It seems like a lot of times with Battletech art, it's, I'm going to put a vent there because I don't know what else goes there. But...
you're not too far off. I think the general philosophy with like CGL, if you're modeling a mech, is basically if you got like a smooth surface or a straight line, you're going to want to break it up and you'll just like chunkify it into several parts.
Okay, so effectively, when in doubt, panel lines.
It's like if you've got a rectangle, you want to like... you want to like, well, this is boring. We're going to skew it and we're going to add chunky geometry on top of it. So it's not like a lot of stuff is like breaking like lines on like a lot of stuff. That's a trick just to make something more interesting. So if you have a straight line on like a box or something, it's just like, no, we're going to bend it or we're going to add another rectangle on top, or we'll add like 3 rectangles or whatever, because you just want to break up that monotonous line. Also, you want to break up like parallel like lines. Like say you've got 2 lines that are parallel. Like I said, like the sides of a rectangle. Like that's boring. So you make them asymmetrical.
Okay.
So you'll break it up so that they don't line up 100% like parallel anymore. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Like, this was a conversation I actually had with one of our viewers who is a dramatically better sculptor than I am, Voxel Forge. He's here right now, but I had said something to Voxel about getting stuck on something and feeling like I wasn't happy with it, and I tooled around with it for a while and came up with a solution that was throw more primitives at model until work. And his response to that was, that's like 90% of sculpting.
Yes. There is a like if you see like Star Wars, or when you see people talk about like making stuff for Star Wars or Star Trek, Greeblies, you just throw Greeblies in there. It's like, hey, our spaceship looks like a giant wedge in space. Well, let's add some Greeblies to that shit, and we're gonna make it visually interesting.
Yeah.
In a related question,
is it about
how
Greeblies?
many times that you are aware of, or rather, how many times in your professional mech work have you seen the application of the universal Greebly?
The universal Greebly.
I don't know if I know what this is.
Okay, the universal Greebly is an ILM secret that it is a piece of, I believe it's a tank.
Battleship.
A battleship. Okay.
I think. It's the back of one of the spotlights.
Yeah, so it is just a particularly bizarre shape that you can throw it anywhere. And
okay, hold on. Let me see if I can look this up.
oh, you
All
can
right.
look it up. I found STLs of it. Like, I have considered trying to make an alpha brush for it so I can put it onto stuff just wherever as kind of an in joke. But the Universal Greebly is a time-honored tradition.
All right. Adam Savage explains the Universal Greebly.
Yup, because Adam
I'm
worked at
gonna
ILM.
It's the
Is it
circly
like
thing with the four
it's a circly
other
thing
circly
with the-
things.
Yeah,
With some other circly things on it.
it's kind of got
Yeah.
it's kind of a dome with a cage around it.
Yeah.
And it came out of like what looks like some it looks like it came out of like some model kit.
Yep.
Yep.
Huh. Did not know this.
And they just threw it fucking everywhere. You don't know what goes here? Universal Greebly.
It's the visual equivalent of the Wilhelm scream.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. A quick bit of trivia for you folks.
All about it.
Now, James Cameron, is anybody here familiar with the movie called Galaxy of Terror?
I feel like I've heard of it. No, I haven't seen it.
Statistically, someone from chat probably is.
All
Big
right,
Red
people.
40 Tech is.
If people know what Galaxy of Terror is, it is mainly known for the giant maggot sex scene. But that's not where we're going right now.
That's a different website.
That's one of your upcoming stickers, right?
No, because I'm not even going to go that far. I'm not Roger Corman. I'm not the Roger Corman of art.
Wow. Horror movie Caligula. That's where we're going.
But a young John Carpenter worked on not John Carpenter, James Cameron, sorry. Young James Cameron worked on that film. So if you see the film, like the interiors of the spaceship and stuff, look very, and the exteriors look very reminiscent of Aliens. But if you see like the interiors of the spaceships, and they got those internal greeblies like they just put on the walls,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that stuff is like styrofoam cartons from like McDonald's.
Excellent.
You just put it on the walls and staple it down and paint it silver.
That's another one of those Star Wars things. Famously, the thing that one of the guys is running around Cloud City with that they used in season, I guess they used in the Book of Boba Fett, where it's a dude running around with an ice cream maker. And things out of context just don't occur to you. So if I see you running around a sci-fi set with an ice cream maker and it's not something that I see every day, I'm not going to recognize it.
So, Bully Snake says giant maggot sex scene painting stops.
I mean, how the hell do you keep going at that point?
Well, I'm trying not to be too gross about it, but it's technically a giant maggot rape scene. But yeah.
Ew.
But it does have what's his name? Sid Haig. He is a weird magic man who has throwing crystal shurikens, and he doesn't say anything in the movie because I think they didn't want to pay him. So like the best thing he kind of says is like, I live by the crystal, I die by the crystal. And he just carries like a crystal boomerang for part of the movie.
This sounds like
Another
an
thing
amazing bad movie.
Well, another thing I'll point out about this movie, and by far I'm not super recommending this movie, it's cheesy bad. It does have Robert Englund in it.
Oh, there you go, guys. It's got Freddy Krueger in it.
It is one of those movies that feels like it's an estuary of like sci-fi before Alien and after Alien. Because when you think about classic sci-fi, when you think about like rocket ships, Flash Gordon, all that stuff going through space.
Yeah, it's
and
that
like, you know,
Star Wars post Star Wars kind of thing.
So you have this movie that has this like very modern, gritty aesthetic to it with this wonderful set dressing, but it still starts with like a person playing chess with like the Emperor of Space. And it's just like a man with a glowing head, and it might as well be Ming the Merciless. And it's just like, it's like a very, but you know, it does not fit in this movie that looks like it's trying to be like more hard science fiction and look. But like the movie's just like feels very much like it belongs in an earlier era.
It's cassette futurism duct taped over 50 serials.
And
Pretty
just
much.
like that, you've added something to my must-watch list.
And somebody says Moon Kaiser.
Yep, that's where the Moon Kaiser is. Gotta go fight the Soviet Moonion.
Oh, no, that's aliens.
No, that's Grandpa Tex.
If Grandpa Tex was in Aliens, then something.
Okay, so there's only two options there. Either Grandpa Tex is the first to die, or Grandpa Tex survives. He doesn't die halfway through the movie.
Third option, Grandpa Tex was a malfunctioning synth the entire time.
That's also
Smash
possible.
cut to the end. There are 35 of him.
You mean like the end scene of like screamers?
Yep.
When like they go back to the base and like all the little kid screamers come pouring out?
Yeah, but they're all
just
arguing
Grandpa
with each
Texas.
other. Yes.
What the
So,
fuck is Free
a
Corn
little while ago,
Thursday?
I Googled for a thing. I looked for Robot Dick Chainsaw Fight versus Aliens. And I did not find a sequel to Robot Jocks.
However,
However, I did find a trailer for a film that involves a time-traveling crystal, human brains being used as prisons for aliens, and the robots that fight them.
The Soul Tracks.
The Soviet Moonion is on the dark side of the moon. The Moon Kaiser is the one keeping them from launching onto the Earth.
This thing you described kind of sounds like it's like one of those weird 80s anime that you kind of run into sometimes.
It sounds like that, but it's 100% live action.
The
I
OVA
think-
that time forgot.
Pretty
Apparently,
much.
It was released under the name Alienoid in 2022.
Oh no.
So now I need to look that up.
Squic's whole weekend is scheduled.
Yeah, you got a new rabbit hole to go down there, buddy.
Clicking rabbit holes
Das
are
Gruben,
very...
if you send it to art at WBPL76.com, then I'll get it.
Yeah.
So I
That'll
guess my
work,
question is, if you had a time-traveling alien-fighting turbo robot...
Such a weird fucking show.
When isn't it, though, bro?
Like, what would you use it for?
Well, man, I've been actually thinking about that, and like, not in that extreme context, but I was thinking, like, man, maybe someone should go back in a time machine and tell Al Gore not to invent the internet and not give it to people.
Okay, so your first order of business would be to create a massive paradox. I suppose that would tell you which model of time travel you were operating under.
I imagine you need the fighting robot to get through all the guards to get to Al Gore.
I don't think you really need a fighting robot at that point.
Nobody said you had to go back to when Al Gore was vice president. He would have been much easier to get to while he was senator.
Well, it's time
Or
traveling
even
anyway,
before
so you
then.
could just show up with, like, I have a 400,000-pound, 40-foot-tall, laser-powered kill machine.
On that
I
note,
traveled
wanna
through
point out-
time to a Denny's bathroom.
I want to
Okay.
point out to everybody, you can in fact order and have shipped to anyone that you would like from Alibaba a cubic meter of marble.
I'm sorry, what?
It
One
weighs-
moment.
It weighs 3 tons, and that's totally a thing you can do. I don't
So
recommend
there's
it.
2 questions, guys. Thoughts on Nun Warrior Nun live action from Frito, and then if Grimo says if you Eldonius, if you could design a mech, what mech it would be, and what tonnage and what weapons, like what kind of a mech would it be? So there's 2 questions for you, very very different.
And how does Warrior Nun compare to Velocipaster?
I have a kind of embarrassing story about Warrior Nun. But
We'll get there.
We won't. We have 15 minutes left.
No shit.
Oh gosh, a mech? Like, I don't know. I have a growing fondness for light and medium mechs, and I think they have a lot of utility At least when I play them in games. So it'd probably be either like a fast medium mech with a heavy gun on it, maybe. Like, I always go back to the idea of like the Hollander, just like a light mech with like a big Gauss cannon on it. So it would probably be something like that, just like a fast sniper mech.
Nice, I like it.
Okay.
Like just take 2 Gauss cannons, add a construction crane kind of cockpit on them, and just throw 2 legs on either side. And that would be the mech. There you go.
Excellent. What was the other question, Cookie?
Warrior none, but he said he has a weird story about it.
Okay, before we get to the weird story, I had one more question I wanted to ask you, just to give you a chance to talk about it. Are there any, like, if you had the opportunity to, passion projects that you would love to do? Like, you've been working on BattleTech, you're working on Heavy Gear. Are there any franchises or any ideas out there that have not yet presented themselves to, but you would love to do?
My passion will always be towards comics and storytelling. So the dream job would just be able to work on one of those and not have to worry about paying the bills. As for comics, it's not confirmed yet. I should be working on one in the nearest future. I will leave it up to the
big 2, or is that in
the hell?
I shouldn't ask those kind of questions, I guess. Yes, sir.
As long as we have just a minor case of demonic possession anyway. I have a question.
But just going back to earlier, there has been a project that I have been working on the side for a little over a year now. I've teased it a few times. It is a project that Locust Labs is working with me on right now, and hope to be able to finally do some artwork for it in another couple weeks.
Where can we find information about it when you do post it?
It will probably be on if you follow me on Twitter or Patreon or Blue Sky or Mastodon or Instagram or Tumblr.
Let's stop
or
here
Threads
for a second.
or
Eldonius Rex has a Patreon. If you want to support Eldon in all of his work, where can they find you there?
It's a very special Patreon that does not charge people.
Oh, well, that's disappointing.
So you can join it for free for the time being. But it pretty much has the same information you can get from any of one of my other socials.
Okay.
Just look for Eldonius Rex on Patreon, or is it under a Stray 3? It might be under a Stray 3.
I'm sure there's a link on your website.
Somewhere.
Somewhere it's there.
Okay. Somewhere out there.
Somewhere.
I'm glad somebody picked up on that.
Well, I mean, you just threw out there a Fievel reference there.
Yeah, An American Tail.
Yeah, the first one. Wasn't even
That's
going
a deep
west.
cut.
Yeah, wasn't going west yet.
Wait, does that exist in the same cinematic universe as the Great Mouse Detective?
Yes.
No,
Actually,
different
no,
studios.
Because it's Don Bluth and not...
it's Don Bluth. Don Bluth after he left Disney.
That's right.
After Secret of Nim.
And
he became the cash cow for Dom DeLuise. Well, that guy kept Dom DeLuise in work for a long time.
So him
and then his kids did. And then his kids did with Stargate.
Yeah, that's a weird fucking thing to run into, is that Dom DeLuise and then Dom DeLuise's son were both in Stargate. Recurring
I did not know this.
Recurring.
Were they gold?
And the son was like on the writing team or producing team or something. Yeah. He was a bigwig for it.
just imagine for a second you are Dom DeLuise's son or offspring.
Pretty weird to start with.
Which means you've got to grow up listening to Dom DeLuise talk to you every day.
Son, I love you. Ah! Yes.
Son, I was at work today talking to Kermit the Frog, and
I'm sorry, I don't know who this is, but having heard that, I can only assume Dracula?
yeah.
No,
Actually, I can't begin to tell you how much money I would fucking pay to watch Dom DeLuise as Dracula. Oh my
listen,
god.
quick, I have one word for you. Ergo.
Ergo.
That's Dom DeLuise.
Honestly, if you heard Dom DeLuise's voice,
You would know.
You would know every
Yeah.
place he came from because
Yeah,
he's
okay.
been he was practically in every animated movie throughout like the 80s and 90s.
He's got one of those
Fair.
voices like Gilbert Gottfried where you're just like, oh my gosh, that's...
I've
you
heard
know.
this everywhere my entire
I'm
life.
going to throw it
Yeah.
out there. Gilbert Gottfried is Patrick Warburton's Wario.
Oh!
Yeah,
oh.
I buy it. I
But then
absolutely.
Well, I
Dom
guess his
DeLuise-
Waluigi.
Wow.
Dom,
All right.
Dom DeLuise would be Luigi then.
Okay.
All
so-
right, who wins in a fight? Dom DeLuise or Lou Albano?
Lou
Ooh.
Albano. One of them was a professional wrestler.
Lou
I mean-
Albano couldn't even get the rubber bands out of his beard.
Look, I feel like I could beat a professional wrestler in a fight because the first thing you do is you do not wrestle them.
You just don't sell their moves.
So if a wrestler challenges you to a street fight, you accept and have your taxi hit them repeatedly.
House of Cards, like, damn it.
No, I'm just telling you, man. If a wrestler confronts you and attacks you, like all their moves are designed not to hurt, you just don't sell them,
I don't know about that.
and you rob them of their power.
Squic, House of Cards says think very carefully about this book.
Well, what are they going to do? Wrestle me about it?
Oh no, you fake slapped me and stomped your foot. If I don't pretend I'm hurt, you didn't hurt me.
You can also, much like bears, you can just play dead.
You can just lie on the mat, let them lay on top of you for 3 seconds, and they'll go away.
Yes, this is very normal and reasonable.
Oh my.
Oh,
Okay.
I do want to go back to like the first question that I wanted to get in here, and I had it on my list.
Okay.
It's not a good question, and it's not a useful question, but those have never stopped any of us.
Nope.
Especially
Okay.
mine. But anyway.
So, you know The Ring, right? Like the whole, like, if you watch this tape, you will die in 7 days unless you chain letter somebody else.
But
I've heard of this, yes.
Okay, so the whole thing there, though, was that A, it was a VHS tape, which raises interesting implications. But B, what happens if you just don't rewind it? Like,
oh, you're not kind. You won't rewind.
yeah, so you hand it off to somebody else, but it's not rewound. They put it in the VCR. What happens?
Well, I mean, do you have a tape rewinder, or are you going to rewind it in the VCR?
I mean, it's a bold assumption either way.
Does the cursed tape rewind itself?
I don't know. Like, is there ever implied to be like direct ghost access to the media that the ghost is stored on?
I mean, I've never seen anybody rewind the video in the
Tape
movie.
over it with cartoons. Sir Shaggy has got it, man.
Yeah,
Man, that is gonna be one fucked up episode of Scooby Doo when somebody watches it later.
I want to see the scenario where someone's watching a very fuzzy TV recording of Ghostbusters, and then you see it like,
yeah.
then you see like you just see the fuzzy tracking come through, and then you like see a little bit of a well, and then it fuzzes back into like the credits.
Okay, so what if they upload it to YouTube and then monetize it? Who gets the money?
Listen,
YouTube
you know
gets the
they did
money.
address this stuff in all the Ring sequels, right?
Yes.
Nope, I
Like-
haven't seen any of them. I have one question, and it's
Pretty
based on
much.
ignorance.
What's her name? Is it Sadako? What's her name?
It's Sadako
I don't
now.
remember. I think the Japanese novels, it becomes like a virus. It doesn't have such a supernatural element to it.
Oh, okay, so it's like a mimetic virus?
It's actually literally a virus, I think, in the Japanese continuity.
But just how did that does? I have further questions.
It's Japanese, so it's weird. And then there's a video game where you're in the future fighting ape monsters, trying to get a vaccine to stop the Sadako virus. But you have to go into a virtual world that looks like our world to learn where the virus is. And then if you get the virus in the video game, somehow it goes to your future world with the evil gorillas. And
okay, this sounds
that's
like
how
a
you stop
really
Sadako.
weird send up of 12 Monkeys.
Well, that's the Ring video game.
That was a PlayStation 2 exclusive.
Wow.
Yeah, I just watched the Grimbeard episode on it today, but I knew about it before then.
That sounds less like a PlayStation exclusive and more like a Laserdisc exclusive.
Yeah.
We have got like 3 minutes left, and it doesn't matter if we go over a little. Nobody's after us. So what's the Warrior Nun story there, Eldon?
Oh, well, do you guys know the origin of Warrior Nun? Do you?
I don't know anything about this.
Is this a show, a board game?
Warrior Nun is based on a comic book.
Oh, so it's like Ninja Turtles.
By Antarctic Press. Yeah, way back in the day. A guy named Ben Dunn. It was a comic way back in the day. Antarctic Press. It was during the time I mentioned earlier, which was the fake anime days.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, Azrael, I think is what it's called, Warrior Nun. So anyway, that was back in the days. I met the creator at the time, and I had a connection to him from a guy who ran a comic book shop in Arizona called Greg's Comics. So I made an entire test page of comics to send to Ben Dunn to try to work on that comic. Oh, I never heard anything back, of course. But, yeah, Ninja High School. Someone mentioned it. I have a whole bunch of Ninja High Schools sitting somewhere. And also the run of Robotech they did. So yeah, like there's some probably bad looking Warrior Nun pages. Like I did a whole micro story of her fighting a dragon and kind of like a Hellboy kind of thing, and it didn't go anywhere. But so every time I know Warrior Nun, it's like, oh yeah, because I was so sure I was going to get the job, but I'm like, that was before I was like even 20. I was like 19 something. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to work on this comic because that's what's going to happen, and it didn't happen, and I looked like an ass.
Life said, nope. Yeah,
I've had my favorite thing about coming away from this conversation is going to be you are such a very specific kind of comic book nerd. If I can deduce any one thing about you from what we've talked about, is that you have very strong opinions about the Mirage run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You know what? Here's the thing. No.
Oh,
I don't. Because here's the thing. I'm going to tell you. Poor kid growing up in the country, divorced parents, no money. The reason I know so much about Antarctic Press is because there was a grocery store right down the way, and they had a big rack of discount comics.
I remember
it'd be like 3 comics, and I think it's like comics for kids, and it would be 3 comic books in a Mylar bag on a revolving thing, and they cost like $3. $3, you got 3 comics. And it was almost all Antarctic Press stuff. So it had a bunch of Ninja High School in there, and it had the Robotech runs they were doing. And, it's comic book for kids, so you pay $3 to get these. So I scrounge up a bunch of quarters so I could go buy a bunch of comics because I was into anime at the time, but anime was not available. So you were kind of had like scrounge around for anything that looked like it.
Like Superbook and Flying House?
Like Superbook and Flying House. Like anything that vaguely looked like anime.
And
you
the
kind of
what?
Superbook and Flying House.
they
Christian
were
anime.
Christian anime. And so like it was a little scrap. So that Anarch Press stuff was the closest thing you could get. So that's what I was getting from those things. And what was funny is like they were like comic books for kids. Buy these for your kids. Your kids in the hospital, buy them some comic books. And the thing is, I don't think they vetted the comic books very well.
No,
because
they had no freaking clue what they were doing.
Because I have several different versions of the first issue of Ninja High School, and I had the edited version, I had the censored versions, and the uncensored versions. So like they had nudity and stuff in them from back in the day, and they were just in these like comic book compilations. And there was like a ultraviolet one I would always get in there called Killer Clown, and a bunch of different stuff. So yeah, that's why I know a lot about Antarctic Press. And I'm trying to think, who does the comic called Empowered? She's like a superhero, and she gets more powers the more naked she gets.
Oh wow!
Wow.
According to the internet, Adam Warren.
Adam Warren, because I knew Adam Warren at the time because he was doing a knockoff Dirty Pair series for Antarctic Press.
Wait, why is... Okay, so I looked this up, and they've got a cover, and there's a dude in the background on the cover who just straight up has a cinder block for a head.
Is that for Ninja High School?
No, apparently it's for Empowered issue 1.
I do not know much about that, because I was just like, it was a time, like I said, like I was getting into anime,
no,
so I kind of knew
fair.
Like...
I demand immediate facts on Cinderblock Headman.
I'm sure you can get a copy of the book very easily.
There's a lot of text on the Wikipedia. Why are there tables on the Wikipedia page? Nope.
This requires him to think.
Oh, wow.
Nope, I'm going to ChatGPT, and I'm going to make it tell me about Cinderblock Headman.
Okay, so this is where we're going to end up for the night. I don't know if Locust is still here or not. I painted one of your Hauptmann. I painted one of my Ostrox. So if you want to, again, you can, pardon me, you can swing by my new Cults page, and I dropped a link for that earlier.
I just want to...
It's under the new MARIK Workshop on Cults 3D.
So I'm going to interrupt for a moment.
Yeah.
Because I can, and I have the loud voice.
It's true.
But I realize we don't bring it up much here on the stream. But yeah, Perry, you're pretty good at that paint and minis thing.
Thank you.
Yep, he is.
Yeah, just how you should know.
I appreciate that.
See, Sarah, see.
You should have a show about it.
I should. I shouldn't just do this podcast every week. I should do a painting show.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so guys, we are at the end of our time. I really want to thank everybody for being here, especially Eldon for joining us.
Thank you, Eldon.
You're welcome.
I hope you had a good time. You think you might come back with us sometime?
Oh yeah, sure. Invite me back anytime.
I would love to.
We have an accord.
There we go. If we find a hole in your schedule at some point, we'll be happy to do that. But yeah,
the pact is sealed.
The pact is sealed. In case not everybody heard that, the pact has been sealed. So, I got to meet Eldonius last year at the BeepleCon, and
me too.
Eldon is an incredible dude, and I'm really glad he was able to join us tonight. And I seem to remember at some point that you told me that of the stuff I brought to give away at the meetup, I think you said you walked off with like half of it.
Oh yeah. After a while, like at first I'm like, okay, well I'll take one. I have a lot of them, by the way. And eventually, like I'd be walking by the table where they were all sitting, and I'd be like, oh, I'll just take one more. And then like the next day, it's like, I'll take one more.
Yeah.
I'll take another. Well, nobody seemed
yourself.
It's like, oh.
I will be bringing more this year, so if you choose to walk off with more, that'll happen. But
yeah,
I'm assuming you'll be there, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it this year.
Great. Okay, guys.
I have
Already got
to.
some time off. Yay!
Yay.
Woo!
So,
Yeah.
like I said, we are past our time, and I still have to go to work tomorrow, whether I want to or not. So,
Bird.
yeah, I know, right? So we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thanks everybody.
It's
for
a
being here.
night.
It is a night. It is at least a fraction of a night. So,
All right.
thanks everybody for being here. Thanks Eldon for joining us, and
You're welcome.
Night, Joe.
we will see those of you that enjoyed the show next week.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Wait, I got one more thing before we go, and then we can go. Sorry.
Okay.
There it is.
No.
Okay, now we can go.
No. Oh shit! There he is.
Good night,
Damn.
everybody.
It's only a little bit cursed. It's fine.